This is the sound of radio, the world's most powerful video. 105.1 is your best die.
I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press with this day. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money.
Yes, we got major headlines. And we've got major stories. No job, no money for hustlers. But yet and still, we cannot stop hustling. No dad, no rest. It's another brand new edition of the program, the editorial review this morning on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Jackson Seekler Jr.
The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories.
So welcome to it.
There is no job, no
Tell a friend. Invite another friend.
we got major headlines.
And let's go through our local daily this morning.
There is no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No plus, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially poor men. No job, no money. No plus, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. No job, no money for hustlers. You've been writing stories from Rock of Ages. Stories about people who not too concerned.
Graham.
People in the street. If y'all know what I know,
Yeah.
blind people. I mean, people that in need, man. People too much in need. Come on. Yeah. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No just no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there?
Okay, welcome again. And our first stop here this morning is the Hot Pepper newspaper. The Hot Pepper newspaper of Philip Webb Brown. Yeah. The front page banner headline of the Hot Pepper newspaper. 8 major opposition political parties reject latest 2022 census preliminary results. Wow. Recently, the Liberia Institute for Geoinformation Services and Statistics, LIGIS, conducted Liberia's 2022 census. And this is the result that the political parties are rejecting. They say 8 political parties have rejected this result, even though it is a preliminary result, but the parties are rejecting it. And we see the photograph here of Unity Party Chairman Luther Tappet, Reverend Luther Tappet, I think he's hailing these political parties. Grab a copy of the Hot Pepper newspaper and read what this story says. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. That's the Hot Pepper newspaper. Let's go to the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Host community vows support for Acelomita Playground Project. So Acelomita is a concession company operating here in Liberia, doing mineral development issues here in Liberia. So the communities in which they are operating in, they are about to build playground for children. So those communities have expressed support for their project. The next story on the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper says, they don't deserve second term. They don't deserve second term. Representative expiring asserts. Who are they she's referring to? Grab a copy of the Hot Pepper newspaper and read. Representative aspiring here. We see the photograph of Madam Stefina J. Tukwi. So she's saying that they don't deserve second term. Who are they she's referring to? You can grab a copy of the Hot Pepper newspaper, which is sold for 40 Liberian dollars, and read the story. There is a need for change in District Number 4, aspiring Thomas discloses. There is a need for change in District Number 4, aspiring Thomas discloses. That's the last story on the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Let's go quickly to the editorial. The editorial of the Hot Pepper newspaper says, the accuser, Councillor Jerome Verdier. The accuser, Councillor Jerome Verdier. So the Hot Pepper newspaper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. You can grab a copy of this paper and read the stories in here. Our next stop is the Inquirer newspaper of Philip Gina Wissett the late. Anthony Philip Gina Wissett the late is the Inquirer newspaper. There on Gurley and Benson Street. Front page banner headline of the Inquirer newspaper. 7 political parties reject census result. Petition legislature. Wow, the other paper is saying is reporting 8. This one is reporting 7. Whatever the case is, political parties are rejecting the just ended census results. For what? Grab a copy of this paper, which is sold for 40 Liberian dollars too as well, and read the details of these stories. The next story on the front page of the Inquirer newspaper. We are all government. Who constructing Bonnier Health Center in Bon County? We are all government. Who constructing Bonnier Health Center in Bon County? That's a question they're asking. I think this Bonnier construction hospital has to do with the one that was placed in the national budget of over 500,000 like United States dollars that has been claimed and counterclaimed by 2 representatives of Bon County, Representative Mema Briggs Mesa and Marvin Cole. Some say the hospital exists, while others say this hospital does not exist. The next story here says WFPWHDO celebrates International Women's Day. I think that's a local organization. That's the acronym of it. Celebrates International Women's Day. That yesterday was International Women's Day. The next story says Kimeyan speaks on debt relief for LDCs. That's Ambassador Maxwell Kimeyan, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Liberia. He speaks on debt relief for LDC. Let's go quickly to the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. 2 top U.S. anti-corruption officials visit Liberia next week. Corruption wahala to hit Liberia. 2 top U.S. anti-corruption officials to hit or to visit Liberia next week. And we see the photograph here of 2 U.S. citizens, Shannon Green and Richard Nephew. These are the 2 officials of the U.S. government that is expected to come to Liberia by next week. So let's see what the visit has and what it is they are going to do. The next story here is LIMPA validates first accreditation guidelines, warns fake physician school. LIMPA validates first accreditation guidelines, one fake physician school. That does it for the back page. And let's go into the Inquirer newspaper, what the editorial is reading. Enforce illicit mining regulation. Enforce illicit mining regulation. That's the editorial of the Inquirer newspaper. We now move to our next paper, and is the New Down newspaper of Otello Gabla. There on UN Drive, directly opposite the National Investment Commission. The New Down newspaper, truly independent, is the motto of this paper, and sold for $40 too as well. No money to start election process. And we see in the photograph here of National Elections Commission Chair Madam David Ethel Brown Lasana. She is reporting that no money to start election process. NEC boss tells Senate. Wow. October this year, we are going to elections to elect a new corps of officers, that is vice president and president, and some members of the legislature. The 73 persons at the House of Representatives will have to go to election, while 15 persons at the lower house or the House of Senate, that is the upper house, will also be going for election. But NEC is reporting that no money to start the election process. Let's see how that turn out. 2022 census is a fraud. 2022 census is a fraud. 10 opposition parties. The number keeps going up and down. 10 opposition parties reject provisional results. 2022 census is a fraud. And we're seeing a photograph here of former Vice President Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka, Benena Ure, Senator Prince Johnson, and Jeremiah Wapo of Vote Party. Let's go to the back page of the New Dawn newspaper. Drama at police headquarters. Drama at police headquarters has women assembled in solidarity. I see that? Amen, women, yeah. Has women assembled in solidarity with former Chief Justice. Drama at police headquarters. So this issue of the ex-Chief Justice still lingers. Women are still in solidarity with the ex-Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. Yes, they are still in solidarity with her. So they are going all out to ensuring that justice is served and served to the code. Yes. Let's go into this paper now for the editorial of the New Dawn newspaper. The justice we demand. The justice we demand is the editorial of the New Dawn newspaper. So grab a copy of the New Dawn newspaper, which is sold for $40 and read the stories here. Our next stop is the Heritage, the authoritative Heritage newspaper. The authoritative Heritage newspaper is sold also for $40 as well. It's Friday, March 10, 2023. Banner headline of the Heritage newspaper: in compliance audit of leges for 4 auditing periods. In compliance audit of leges for 4 auditing periods, US 5 million, LD 28 million unaccounted for. Wow. For 4 auditing period, the GAC, the General Auditing Commission, is reporting that US 5 million and Liberian dollar 28 million is unaccounted for at leges. There has been series of lingering alleged corruption issues there at leges that led to the removal of a deputy director, Wilmer Smith, and few other persons. Even one of a deputy director too for technical services, Ellis Williams, also resigned on that basis too as well. So leges has been in the press in recent time for corruption, but the GAC here now is confirming that through an audit. And we've seen a photograph here of leges boss, Professor Red, Francis Red, and GAC boss too as well, Gatswa Jackson. The next story on the front page of the Heritage newspaper says NEC honors spotlight again, giving ultimatum over unqualified legal counsel others. NEC honors spotlight again, giving ultimatum. So on yesterday, the Liberian Senate gave the NEC, that's the National Elections Commission, uh, ultimatum of 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks to have a fixed position on its legal counsel, who is an attorney, and the law calls for the person who should head that position should be a legal counselor instead of attorney at law. So it's a breach of the law there. So the Senate has given the National Elections Commission a 2 weeks ultimatum to ensure that that is rectified. That's the front page of the Heritage newspaper. Let's move now to the back page of the Heritage newspaper. Koji Chronicle, Verdier lies against him. Koji Chronicles, Verdier's lies against him. That's the first story on the back page of the editorial. Yeah. The next story says U.S. Global Anti-Corruption Coordinator and USA Anti-Corruption Task Force Executive Director visiting Liberia. So 2 U.S. officials are expected to be in Liberia shortly, particularly for corruption purposes. Police discloses another armed robbery attack in Soul Clinic community, Painesville. Wow. The issue of armed robbery in our society and in our community, in our country nowadays is becoming a serious issue that needs our attention. State security and state actors need to put their feet to the ground and act accordingly. Let's go to the editorial of this paper. The editorial of the Heritage newspaper, reviewing our caveat. Reviewing our caveat is the editorial of the Heritage newspaper. You can grab a copy of this paper, which is sold for $40 Liberian dollars, and read the stories here. Our next stop is the newspaper, the nation's news since 1989. The newspaper. Front page banner headline, the new newspaper. Opposition rejects census results, petition legislature. So on yesterday, several political parties stormed the grounds of the Capitol building and they petitioned the lawmakers that they should not take the preliminary result of the just ended census seriously because, according to them, it does not meet accuracy. The next story of the new newspaper says, "We are deserved re-election. Bombing Keman Bapolu superintendent points to major feat." These superintendents are saying that President Weah deserved re-election. The back page of the newspaper. Sequence of Councillor Verdier's falsehood against Major Koji. Sequence of Councillor Verdier falsehood against Major Koji. That's the first story on the back page of the new newspaper. The next story says, Kimaya rallies international partners. Kimaya rallies international partners wants debt relief for least developed countries. Kimaya rallies international partner and he wants debt relief for least developed country. NEC given 2 weeks ultimatum to make decision on legal advisor post. NEC given 2 weeks ultimatum to make decision on legal advisor post. That is Tish Jallo, who is serving as the legal counsel there at the National Elections Commission. The law says he should be a legal counselor and not attorney at law, but he's an attorney at law and serving that position. And we are about to go down an election process. So the legislature is calling, particularly the Liberian Senate, is calling on the NEC to make the necessary correction. And the final story on the back page of the new newspaper, GOL, UN Women observe International Women's Day. GOL, UN Women observe International Women's Day. Our next stop here is the Independent Pope newspaper. The Independent Probe newspaper, UN Drive and Benson Street intersection. The man Chester Smith is the managing editor of this paper, and this paper is sold for 30 Liberian dollars. Threat ahead of elections. Wow. And we've seen several persons photographed here to include Senator Kwame B. Wisse, Henry Costa, the president of Liberia, Charles Coffey, Senator Yombri Kanga Lawrence, Tapla Doe, Davis Ally Zolizo, Jefferson Koji, and ex-Chief Justice Councilor Gloria Musu Scala. All of those on the front page of the Independent Probe newspaper with the banner headline Threats Ahead of Elections. This is serious and has to be given serious attention to as well. Still on the front page of the Independent Probe newspaper, latest 2022 census result: conspiracy against will of Liberians. Wow, this latest result or preliminary result is causing some stir, and there are a whole lot of conversation around in every quarters of our Liberian society. The next story here says jungle justice. Yesterday, agitators, today's oppressors. Speaker Chima chose Yeke out of section. Jungle justice. Yesterday's agitators, today's oppressors. Speaker Chima threw Yeke out of section. Let's go to the back page of the Independent Probe newspaper. Swedish Embassy, UNFPA, pleased with drop in teenage pregnancy in Liberia. But caution mode still needs to be done. Yeah. Even though there is a drop in teenage pregnancy in Liberia, they are also cautioning that there still needs more attention to that so that we can show that it's eradicated fully. Even though it might not be, but they still need more attention. 22-year-old gets life imprisonment. Jesus Christ. 22-year-old gets life imprisonment for murdering girlfriend. Oh God. This is our Liberian society. On yesterday, we talked about how we can avoid violence in our society, especially as we gear towards election process. There's a young man. We've seen the photograph here of a young man, 22 years old, and he gets life imprisonment because of violence. There's a need that we avoid violence. It takes nothing away from you. If you are into a conversation that might lead to violence, just take a walk away from that place. It doesn't mean you are lazy or you are weak, but it shows that you want peace, and peace should be at all times. Let's go to the editorial of this paper, the editorial of the Independent Probe. There will always be a tomorrow. That's the editorial of the Independent Probe. There will always be a tomorrow. Our next stop is the Daily Observer newspaper. Daily Observer newspaper. The front page story of the Daily Observer newspaper. GVL violates villagers' rights, sues for palm theft. GVL violates villagers' rights, sue for palm theft. Wow. That's the editorial here of the Daily Observer newspaper. Yeah. The next story says switch right activist takes US 15 million damages case to Supreme Court. Switch right activist takes 15 million damages case to Supreme Court. And the next story here says census results are voodoo. Census results are voodoo's numbers. The medicine numbers. Wow. Let's go to the back page of the Daily Observer newspaper. Urine current footprints in Liberia, in Liberia's economic got no match. So that's the head of Liska, the fish, the ship registry there, Liska. The head recently passed out and saying that the deputy speaker says that the footprint of this man who has passed, footprint in the Liberian economy, got no match. Let's go quickly for the editorial of this paper. The editorial of the Daily Observer newspaper. There isn't one. There isn't one. And our next and final stop here is the Independent newspaper of Sam O'Dane there on Johnson Street. Independent newspaper. Fiasco. Opposition party slams 2022 census results. Fiasco. And we've seen a photograph here of several opposition leaders to include Tiawan Gongolo, Reginald Goodrich, Senator Yombri Kanga Lawrence, Ambassador Joseph Yuman Bwaka, and Senator Prince Johnson. The back page of the Independent newspaper. Ticking time bomb. Ticking time bomb. Top media guru foresees approaches violence in 2023. Wow. And we're seeing a photograph of Emmanuel D. Abalo and Gabriel Williams. The next story is here say global others stakeholders invited. Held MP say Justice Scott cooperating. At long last, there were reports that she wasn't cooperating first with the investigation, but the LMP now is reporting that she is cooperating. The last story here says three superintendent pushing for Weah's re-election outline his developmental gains. 3 superintendents are pushing for the re-election of President George Manning Weah. Let's run for the editorial of this paper. The editorial says, remain focused on women empowerment. That's the editorial of the Independent newspaper. That's the editorial of the Independent newspaper. So we'll take a few bars of our theme song. At which time we return and bring you our conversation of our particular editorial. So let's take a few bars of our theme song quickly to return and bring you the conversation and open the phone lines so that you can have your say too as well.
I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage during the season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, the children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We got major headlines, oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. Major headlines. We got major stories. Major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No cause, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially poor men.
Yeah. Welcome back to it. Welcome back to it. We've got major headlines and we've got major stories. There's no job, no money for hustler. So we are back again. So shortly, we've just took our break. Play some of our things on there. The program is the editorial review here on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Jackson Seekley Jr. We just concluded the first part of this program, and the next part has to do with the conversation. At which time we open the phone lines to engage your view on some of the conversation here. What do you make of it? And our editorial this morning is the editorial from the Inquirer newspaper. The Inquirer newspaper, and the editorial says enforcing illicit mining regulation. Enforcing illicit mining regulation. So let's read a few lines of this editorial and make sense of it. The alarming rate of illicit mining by foreign nationals in league with local is not only debasing the country's river and creeks, but also getting out of hand. Wow. Are these activities undermine sustainable forest initiative and biodiversity, while some miners are even involved in pit sawing, medical and hunting expeditions? The issue of illicit mining in our country nowadays is it's not a strange one. Yeah. This is something that has been existing for record ages. The legislature have tried. There are laws on the book on who should do mining in our country and with what license. So the license of the mining they are in categories. So you've got license A, license B, license C. So it depends on the kind of license you have, is the kind of mining you're going to do. But it seems that the issue of mining in Liberia is getting on a rampage, and people see that as a money making issue. So we Liberians connive with foreigners who should not be doing class C with class C lesson and should not be doing class A mining. We are conniving with them and getting involved into the issue. And this is causing serious problem for our country. We are not benefiting from the kind of mining the people are doing, but yet our resources are being depleted. What is going to be left for our children tomorrow? It's about time that the Ministry of Mines and Energy takes seriously these issues and see how best the issue of illicit mining can be curtailed, if not eradicated to a fullest. But the issue of illicit mining in Liberia has always been at the top. People has always been complaining. Even in Sino County, Senator Maydon Teji has written his colleague at the Liberian Senate on several occasions that there are people, there are foreigners within the forest of Liberia, Sino County particularly, are carrying on illicit mining. In Grand Jira County, Senator Marshall Dennis too did same. In Bapolu County, all across Liberia, there are illicit mining taking place. And what is it? What is it that the Ministry of Mines and Energy is doing to curtail or to ensure that these things are getting rid of? Is it that our laws are weak or what? But there are laws on the book that regulate the sector. Is it that the people who are responsible to implement those laws are not implementing it? What is it exactly that we need to know? So this is it. I've said mine. I'm opening the phone lines now so that you can put through your calls and say yours too as well. What do you think that we need to do with our mining sector? Because that sector is full of huge perspective. The future in that sector is so bright that to the extent when we properly manage that sector, our country will get better from the resources there or from the revenue generated from there. Our country can get better by that. So the phone lines to call is 0777105 0777105 and 0775030966. 0775030966 are the numbers to call and be a part of the program this morning. Is the editorial review here on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Jackson Seekler Jr. Let's have a conversation this morning about our mining sector. What is it that we need to do with our mining sector to avoid the issue of illicit mining? What exactly that is ignoring our sector? Is it that those in charge are not properly administering their oversight responsibilities? For sure that I know the legislature has on several occasions, particularly the Senate, has called the Minister of Mines and Energy, Jesla Murray, with regards to how people are doing mining in the various areas, in the various counties. Why is it that they are illegally mining? And it should not be that way. 0777105 0775030966 0775030966 0777-105-100 are the numbers to call to give your input on the topic this morning. Illicit mining. What are we to do to curtail the issue of illicit mining? So the paper editorial says enforcing illicit mining regulations. Let's take the caller. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Fine. My name is David.
Uh-huh.
Papa, I called from here, the region.
Make your point, David.
Yeah. My point has to do with this illicit money to various countries as regards to this gold and diamond money.
Uh-huh.
This gold and diamond money, the people are doing it. Most often, I visited some of these places sometimes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask these guys, they will tell you that they have lessons. And they will even have representatives from the Ministry of Lands and Mines there observing their day-to-day activities.
Sure.
But, yeah, well, what it says that it's on the rampage and the ministry is not able to control them. So I think their question should be posted, or the legislators should invite the Minister of Mines and Energy to come and explain to that body why is it that things is going like this in our country.
Okay. Thank you very much, David. You can do same 0777105 086 0777105 0775030966 are the numbers to call and be a part of the conversation this morning here on ABC Radio 105.1. The editorial review, illicit mining, and we are not seeing the ripple effect of the process. Go to the places where the art is taking place. Visit the various site, visit the various mining site, and see the life of the people, see the roles. Instead, those money supposed to be used to better the life of those communities, the life of those people. But nothing of such. The people are just taking away our gold, our diamonds, our iron ores, our everything. And what we get in return is the peanut. That should not be. I think those responsible for the sector should ensure that the proper mechanism have been put into place so that Liberia and Liberians can benefit from the resources. The mining sector holds a whole lot of potential that, if managed properly, yeah, we could just be there. But what is it? Why are we not managing it properly? Is it that the people we put in charge sometimes they just go there for themselves, or what? Even the very inspector, there are reports that allegedly they too connive with these very same people who are illicit minor, and they get kickbacks in return. Should it be that way? 077-105-100-077-503-0966, 077-503-0966, and 077-105-100 are the numbers to call and be a part of the conversation this morning. The program is Editorial Review with me, Jackson Seekler Jr., on ABC Radio 105.1. Let's have a conversation around it this morning. What do you make of our mining sector? What is it that we are supposed to be benefiting from and we are not benefiting from it? What is the what should I say? What is the resources, the natural resources that Liberia has that should be of benefit to Liberia and Liberians as well? And it's not. What are your recommendations for the mining sector? The paper editorial is saying that we should enforce the regulations. I think the regulation has been relaxed. So that's why you see the proliferation of illicit mining all over the country. And everywhere you go, there is some information about this thing. Right here in Maserado, Carwell, there has been reports that the same mining issue is taking place there as well. What does the community in which they operate stand to benefit? What is the trickle-down effect of the activities of them of the mining process? What's the trickle-down effect in the community? We do not see any, but yet and still, the people are still involved into it. The people are still carrying on the process, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is being done about that. 077-105-100 and 077-503-0966 are the numbers to call this morning to be a part of the conversation. Is the editorial review here on ABC Radio 105.1. What are your thoughts on illicit mining in Liberia? Should the regulation be reinforced? What is it that needs to be done? Let's have a conversation about it. The paper, that's the editorial of the Inquirer newspaper. If you go further in this editorial, accordingly, the paper says, accordingly, these activities are not only unique in towns and villages around the Lofa River. Wow. The Lofa River, Bidaza, Kaza, Dube, and Botisu in Vonjoma district, where there are over 30 Malians, Guineans, Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians suspected of mining in the country's forest. You see, these are all foreigners. They are talking about people. The paper is reporting that people from Mali, people from Sierra Leone, people from Ghana, people from Nigeria are the people, or are the ones who are carrying on these illicit activities, illicit mining activities in Lofa County. We just told you about some of the issues that happen in Bapolu County. Some of these very same illicit mining that happen in Sino County, in River G County, in Grand Creek County. All across the country, there are illicit mining. There are illicit miners all over this place. What is it that we cannot get our hands around so that we can bring this thing to an end? Even in Grand County, the Burkinabes are said to be in the forest of Grand. What is wrong with us? What's going on? Our sector should be there to benefit us, but it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Yeah. 0777105 0777105 0777105 0777105 are the numbers to call and be a part of the program this morning. This call coming in. Let's take short break right here. To be right back.
No more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me. We got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage. The rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, the children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We got major headlines, oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially poor men. No job, no money. No cause, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially poor men. No job, no money. No cause, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. You don't know stories? You've been rapping stories from rap for pages. Keep rapping stories about people who not too concerned. We got a lot of people in the ghetto, people on the block, people in the street. If y'all know.
Yeah, we've got major headlines and we've got major stories. Welcome back to it this morning. It's the editorial review here on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Jackson Seekler Jr. So if you do some investigation into this illicit mining process, you'll notice that some folks who are involved into it also has expired license, but yet and still they are still engaged into the process. Some of them do not have license at all. There has been this ban placed on dredging, on use of dredges across mining site. Yet and still they are still using dredges. because the supervision over the sector has not really been intensified to the letter or enforced to the letter. So people take advantage of the sector. People take advantage of the system and do whatever they want. In some other countries, you don't do that because there are laws on the books, and those laws are enforced to the letter. Why we can do same here in Liberia? Why is it difficult? It can happen. Yes, it can. But it can only happen when those we put in charge are brave and courage enough to take it up. Yeah. The process, the issue of illicit money in Liberia is just becoming unbecoming. Everywhere you turn, there will be this news of alleged illicit money. Everywhere you turn, there will be this news of alleged illicit. Why should it be? If you are given a piece of tax to perform, and you know that you're not up to the tax to perform it, you say and let somebody else take it up. But we can't have our sector every time being depleted in such a form and manner without any benefit. The sector should be benefiting us Liberians. Here we are now. The National Elections Commission too is complaining that there's no fund to start the election process. And we got less than 10 months to the election. The election comes up in October. Everything in this country we depend on international partners to support us. Whereas we have what it takes to support ourselves, but we are not properly managing them. So we will always get our hands out there to donors. And when the donor to bring in their money, they will tell you how it can be used. So they will control you. 077710510 0775030966 are the numbers to call and be a part of the program this morning. 077710510 077710 0775030966 are the numbers to call and be a part. What do you think? What are your recommendations for the mining sector? How can we curtail the issue of illicit mining across our country? These people leave their country and come to Liberia. Yeah, Liberia is a free land of liberty, so let's go there. Oh yeah, it's in our national anthem, free land of liberty now. So people come here and do whatever they want and do just whatever they like. Things that don't happen in other places, but it happen here. We ourselves need to change. Until we can change our minds, until we can change ourselves, we will not be able to change the things around us. We must first be willing to change. But when you give a Liberian man a job right now, the first thing you see, he doesn't see it as a service. He see it as a means of enriching himself. So say, yeah, that place get eating. So you go there. So you mortgage our country to foreigners. You mortgage our resources to foreigners. You mortgage our children's future to foreigners. You mortgage everything we have to foreigners. Why? 077710510 0775030966 are the numbers to call to be a part. What are your thoughts? What do you make of it? We need to reinforce the mining regulations. Do you think that, or should we pass the phone lines? Yeah. Let's talk about it this morning. Yeah, let's talk about it this morning. It's about our future. It's about our unborn generation future. Our mining sector is hugely potential. Yeah. 0777105 7750309. Yeah.
I go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press with this day. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage. The rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter. Oh, children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No cause, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No cause, no glory. No help for women. That's what we know. We got major headlines. We got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines.